I want to finish off by reading a letter that Babeuf wrote to his wife and children prior to his execution. In this letter, he reveals to us just what a narcissist he was. It seems like a farewell letter, but it's more of a letter about how he wants to be remembered. He was unsure as to how he will be remembered. To my wife and children, good evening, my friends. I am ready to wrap myself in the eternal night. I express myself better to the friend to whom I addressed the 2 letters you saw. I better express to him my situation, as far as it concerns you, than I do to you yourselves. It seems that feeling too much, I feel nothing. I put your fate in his hands. Alas, I don't know if you'll find him in a position to do what I ask of him. I don't know how you can reach him. Your love for me has led you through all of poverty's obstacles. Your faithful feelings have led you to follow every instant of this long and cruel proceeding, which you, like me, have drunk to the dregs. But I don't know how you will return to the place from which you started. I don't know how my memory will be appreciated, though I believe I carried myself in an irreproachable manner. Finally, I don't know what will become of the Republicans, their families, and even the babies still at their mothers' breasts, in the midst of the royalist fury that the counter-revolution will bring. Oh, my friends, how heart-rending these thoughts are in my final moments. To die for the fatherland, to leave a family, children, a beloved wife, all would be bearable if at the end of this I didn't see liberty lost, and all that belongs to sincere Republicans wrapped in a horrible proscription. Ah, my tender children, what will become of you? I can't defend myself against the strongest of feelings. Don't think that I feel any regret for having sacrificed myself for the most beautiful of causes. Even if all I did for it was useless, I fulfilled my task. If contrary to my expectations you are able to survive the terrible storm that breaks over the Republic and everything connected to it, if you are able to once again find yourselves in a peaceful situation, and find a few friends who can assist you in triumphing over your ill fortune, I suggest that you all live together. I recommend to my wife that she attempt to guide the children with much kindness, and recommend to my children that they merit the kindnesses of their mother by respecting her and always obeying her wishes. The family of a martyr for freedom must set an example of all the virtues in order to attract the esteem and attachment of all good people. I would like my wife to do everything possible to give her children an education, by having all her friends assist her in doing everything that is possible for them with this aim in view. I invite you to accept this wish on the part of a father who believes he was loved, and who loved in his turn. I invite him to do so without wasting any time and as soon as possible. My friends, I hope you'll remember me, and that you'll speak of me often. I hope that you'll believe that I always loved you. I couldn't conceive of any other way to make you happy than through the happiness of all. I failed. I sacrificed myself. It is also for you that I die. Speak of me often with Camille. Tell him thousands and thousands of times that I had him with tenderness in my heart. Say the same to Caius, when he'll be able to understand it. Le Bon has said that he'll publish our defense separately. You must give mine the widest possible publicity. I recommend to my wife, my good friend, that she never gave Baudouin, Le Bon, or anyone else of my defense without having another correct one in her possession, in order to be sure that the defense is never lost. You will know, my dear friend, that this defense is precious, and that it will always be dear to the virtuous hearts of the friends of their country. The only property that will be left to you will be my reputation, and I am sure that you and the children will be consoled in having possession of it. You will love hearing all feeling and upright hearts say, in speaking of your spouse, he was perfectly virtuous. Farewell. I hold on to the earth by a thread, which tomorrow shall break. This is certain. I see it clearly. The sacrifice must be made. The evil are the stronger, and I surrender to them. At least it is sweet to die with a conscience as clean as mine. The only thing that is cruel, that is heart-rending, is to tear myself from your arms. Oh, my tender friends! Oh, all that is dear to me! I tear myself away. The violence is done. Farewell, farewell, 10,000,000 times farewell. One more word. Write to my mother and my sisters. Send them, by coach or otherwise, my defense as soon as it's published. Tell them how I died, and try to make these good people understand that such a death is glorious and far from being dishonorable. So farewell again, my beloved, my tender friends. Farewell forever. I wrap myself in a breast of a virtuous sleep. Signed, G. Babeuf. I want to take a moment to share my thoughts and opinions regarding the letter we just read. I find it interesting that he starts off the letter by saying, "To my wife and children," and then immediately addresses them as my friends. This might be a cultural thing, however, it seemed to me that he didn't have very strong feelings towards his family. The first part of the letter is about arrangements he made for his family. He says that he puts their fate in the hands of a friend. It immediately goes on to say that he is not sure if this friend will do what was asked of him, and Babeuf has no idea how his family can even contact this friend. It doesn't sound like a well-thought-out plan to me, which just goes to show how much he truly cared for his family, which is not a lot, if at all. It is interesting to note that he leaves the fate of his family in the hands of others. In the letter, basically, he demands that others should help take care of his family. Again, this is a common theme with communists. Other people must take care of them. They refuse to share any responsibilities. Others should just give, while they take. We can also see Babeuf's narcissism starting to show in the letter. He talks about how he's not sure how he will be remembered, but he thinks he carried himself in an irreproachable manner. Really, Babeuf? You were without any faults? Did you properly take care of your family? What about your thirst for violence? You will often, if not always, find narcissistic behavior in communists, always being holier than thou. He also talks about how he's so worried about what will become of his people and their babies. I wonder if Babeuf also worried about the children of the men and women he planned to murder. Communists actually care for no one, not even their own. They are, however, master manipulators, and they will pretend to worry about the children in order to make people feel empathetic towards their cause. His narcissism continues when he talks about how dying for the fatherland is great, and his sacrifice is the most beautiful of all causes. He also states that his family is the family of a martyr, and it's their duty to set a good example. His narcissism gets so bad that he says that his family will be so happy to have had him as a father and a husband, because everyone will talk about him as being perfectly virtuous. Perfectly virtuous? Holy shit, guess who's got a god complex? As we can see, Babeuf was full of shit, and so was the origins of communism. There are more books and other reading material regarding Babeuf. However, I think I've made my point, and that is that communism is never about the people. It's always about the elite few who prey on people in difficult situations. These so-called elites never have good intentions, and always crave violence of the evilest kind. Do not let people fool you. Do not believe anyone who promises you the world and tells you that all of your sufferings will be over. This always comes at a steep price. It's like making a deal with the devil. He will only tell you what you want to hear, and never the whole truth, until the bill comes due. I hope that you have found this video useful and interesting as I have. Please feel free to comment and let me know how I can improve. I'm still very new at this whole thing and would welcome advice that can help improve the quality of future videos. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share my videos so that we can get the message out there. You can follow me on Gab, and the link is in the description below. Also, please consider making a donation. It allows me to buy books that help me to do research into communism and those involved. Check back soon as we will continue our journey into the history of communism and how Babeuf's ideas inspired future communists. Until next time, take care, liberators, and Godspeed!